I upgraded from economy to business class on a Qantas 787 Dreamliner with a lie flat bed for £199. There's no tricks, no need for status or even points. And I'm going to tell you how I did it, and I'll show you how you can do it too. I'm Phil and I'm on my grey gap year, and today I'm flying business class with Qantas from Melbourne to...
And if I finish that sentence it gives the game away, so let's just go and get checked in. Note the priority tag going onto the bag. Well, I knew I'd seen that somewhere.
Last time I was in Melbourne Airport was during the COVID pandemic, right at the start, trying to get home from my daughter's wedding. It was a scary time, and this was empty. It kind of looked like a scene from a disaster movie. Any second a horde of zombies are going to come flying round the corner and charging towards us. Ours was the only flight on the departure bus. Well, check-in was fast, efficient, friendly and very helpful, so really good news. I'm just on my way now to find the lounge. And once I found the lounge I had a choice to make: Qantas Business Class Lounge or Amex Centurion Lounge. As you walk into the Centurion Lounge, there's a hot and cold buffet on your left with a reasonable selection of food. Pancake maker, always a nice touch. The hot food looked like it had been out for a while and the station needed a bit of a wipe down, and the food really could have done with being turned over. And next is the unmanned bar. But the dining area does have some nice seating and looks sophisticated to my untrained eye. If you continue up through the lounge you'll come to a second seating area with individual comfortable cubbies if you want a bit of comfort and privacy while you wait. I had curry with rice and a dry par-baked roll, and the food all felt a bit ordinary really. The Qantas lounge is bright, spacious and welcoming. It was broken up with some different areas where you could sit and work, or relax, or you could practice scaling and balancing on a tall bar stool. There were a number of wine and drinks areas dotted around, and an array of little jars with snacks and sweets, which I thought was a really nice touch. There was a variety of hot and cold food, and I saw the area being regularly attended to by staff, and it was busy with hungry passengers, so I wasn't really able to film it, but it was good. There was a decent self-service bar and drinks fridge, and there was cake. A significantly better offering than the Centurion Lounge across the way. I wasn't in the Qantas Lounge long, and it was soon time to head to the gate. I didn't work out why these fascinating panda sculptures were there, and there wasn't any information about the artist or the pandas or why they were in this part of the terminal, so if you do know why these pandas sit in Melbourne Airport, please pop it in the comments for me. Boarding was a bit stop-start, and then the usual scrum formed once boarding started, but the gate staff sorted things very quickly, and there were no delays once my boarding card had been checked, but there was a labyrinth of corridors and jetways to get to the aircraft. Quick boarding card check at the door and I turned right into the smaller of the two business class cabins. I did get a quick sticky beak at the premium economy seat, and they look nice and comfy back there in 232 configuration as opposed to 333 in economy. Despite this being a short 4-hour flight, business class had the long haul lie flat bed in a 1-2-1 configuration with every seat having aisle access, and I really liked the layout. Rather than making space by everyone being on an angle in that herringbone configuration, everyone faces forward and the seats are staggered to create spacious cubbies for lie flat legroom. I made a bit of a hash recording this seat, but it was wide, spacious and comfortable. This was a short day flight, but I think it would have made a very comfortable bed for all but the very tall, and it looked like a wide and spacious foot cubby, but I was in the bulkhead seat. I thought the storage was quite innovative, like this little area under the in-flight entertainment screen, which was about the right size for a pair of glasses. To my right there was a large storage bin that looked like an umbrella stand, but it was perfect for shoes, or perhaps your brolly. And to my left there was an open but secure area for bits and bobs during takeoff and landing, and a complimentary bottle of lukewarm water. And this is also where you'd find the headphone jack, single USB charging point and universal plug. There are some nice little details in the seat, like this vanity mirror in the remote control cubby. And of course there was a tray table, which came out from the side, so it would need to be stowed if you wanted to stand and get up from your seat. After I'd explored my seat, it was time for meal service, and while I waited to be served, I was offered a Qantas Sky Spritz, which is the Qantas signature drink. A soaring Australian spritz with Davidson plum and finger lime over wine and sparkling water. So let's see what that's like. Plum and finger lime with sparkling wine. Delicious. The tray table was laid with the tablecloth, and each of the 3 courses was served separately with a selection of drinks. My first course was poached prawn salad with chilli and lime dressing, which I paired with a glass of water. There was definitely a good white wine on the list, but I must have just been thirsty. This was followed by a delicious braised lamb shank with roast potatoes and honey glazed carrots, and it was excellent, even though the carrots were a little bit cold. It was full of flavour, tender, succulent, and it was served in a delicious gravy. Dessert was a choice of ice cream or a selection of cheeses, and I decided on the cheese course with a large glass of brandy in anticipation of a cup of coffee. The seat had a blanket and a pillow on it when I arrived, and would have become fully flat if I'd chosen to adjust it. I got a bottle of lukewarm water, but no other amenities or freebies. After dinner, it was time to adjust the seat and enjoy the in-flight entertainment. The large IFE screen was responsive and had a large catalogue of movies and shows, and I honestly can't remember which movie I selected, but it's immaterial anyway, because as testimony to the comfort of the seat and the large glass of brandy, I dozed off for the rest of the flight and woke up in a bit of a fluster as we prepared to land. Well, that was my first experience of grown-up business class. It was really fun. The staff were excellent. They really did make it special, and I really enjoyed it. I've also got a really interesting boarding card as well, with some nice little stamps and stuff on it, because it was an international flight that was making a domestic stop, which is why the business class was so good. It was brilliant. I really enjoyed it. So that was Melbourne to Perth with Qantas on a 787 Dreamliner in business class. I loved that.
So how did I get the upgrade for £199, and how much did the flight cost in total? From the clues in the video, you've probably guessed that this was actually an international Project Sunrise flight from Melbourne to London Heathrow with a domestic stop in Perth. But I was just flying the Melbourne to Perth part of the flight. Now, Qantas generally charge the same for this flight as they do for any other Melbourne to Perth domestic flight, so you're not going to suddenly see a jump in prices if you happen to seek it out. From Melbourne to Perth, you're looking for flight number QF9 and then QF10 on the return. And I paid $666 Australian dollars and 8 cents for a round trip ticket in economy. So let's keep the math simple and say that it cost me $333 one way to book that flight in economy. And to get the upgrade, well, I told you it was simple, and all I did was bid for it. Qantas invited me to bid, and my bid for $350 was accepted, which came out at £199. So my 4-hour Qantas business class lie flat bed experience came in at under £400 and less than £100 an hour, which I felt was an absolute bargain to experience the seat and the service. Now, I obviously don't know, but I think upgrades from economy must be reasonably common on flight QF9 and QF10. There are 42 business class seats, and some of them are going to go unsold, and some of them are going to be for passengers joining in Perth. Now, you could just bid the minimum amount allowed and you'd see what happens, but my tip is just to move the slider up one place. That's what I did, and I had a little bit of luck. So let me know your good luck upgrade stories in the comments, and if you've enjoyed the video, please consider giving me a like, and if you haven't already subscribed, then please do consider subscribing, because I'm a new channel and all of these things are much appreciated and help me get started on my YouTube journey. So thank you for watching and joining me on my Grey Gap Year.